Push button. So I left the sales meeting and started working on that. In the process of working on that, I had a client call me that I just wrote an offer for, say, well, the lawn's not going in on the new construction like we thought, so we're already having buyer's remorse before we've closed. We don't think we want the property anymore. I said, so because there's no grass, you don't want to buy the house? He said, more or less. Then I talked with another realtor, and the offer that my client hadn't yet, the counter offer that my client hadn't yet responded to, the homeowner accepted another offer. So that's 3 down.
And then how many offers have you written for this particular?
For that client, I've written 3 offers, none of which are getting accepted.
And why is that, Billy?
Because she sure does know a lot. She knows, she knows exactly how much things are going to cost to get fixed. And so she wants to take that off the top sales price immediately and then ask for closing costs.
And we think, I believe in the interview process. We interview our buyer clients. We tell them how you can be successful in this business, how to be successful buying a property. And she'll agree and agree and agree and agree and say, okay, do it that way. And then the phone call later. Well, I've heard everything you said and I agree with you, but I still don't think it's worth that much money. Well, it's not worth that much money to me. Okay, so we write a different offer and somebody else buys property.
And every time it's, and if they don't want to accept it, then I'm okay with losing this house. Okay. And then she loses the house. She says, oh, man.
Yeah. But one of the things that we're very careful about doing is you don't ever want to be the reason your buyer lost a property or your buyer will fire you. So we always make it real clear. In fact, it's simple. If you lose this property because you want us to write this offer that you insist on rather than the offer we think will be successful, do you promise? You have to promise you won't be mad at us. And it sounds simple, but I'm going to tell you those are golden words. And later, they won't be mad at you. But if you don't go through that little bit of exercise, they're going to start blaming you. And then they're going to fire you. Always stay in control. Okay, here's the burning question. The question is, give us your best buyer close in 1 sentence, and it will dovetail with what we're going to talk about. You have to say your name, give us your best buyer close, and we're going to start with, we're going to start with Kelly being number 1, and then you're going to count off 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we'll get on teams that way. Kelly number 1, and I know your close is different than ours, Kelly, but what's your best buyer close when you're interviewing a prospect?
A customer?
Customer.
Probably let's decide together what the best program is to put you into. We'll work on it together. And let's see.
That's a close. That's a close, and she's already involved the what do you call them? Client? Customer. She's already involved the customer in the decision-making process. That's a great close. You don't want to be dictating to your customers or clients what they should do. You want to get them involved, so it's also their decision. They feel in charge. And you're number 1. Billy, you're number 2. Name?
Billy Worthy. I'm a number 2. So far, my favorite is, when can you come in and meet with us?
Okay. Kathy Fernandez, I'm number 3.
She's staying far away from my team this time. We lost.
My best buyer close. I love this one. Would you rather pay cash or create a new loan? Never ever assume your people aren't possibly paying cash. I do this at open houses. We do this when they're getting ready to make an offer. We do this all the time. It's fun. It's fun to ask that question, and it's flattering. And it doesn't matter what they drove up in or the holes in their jeans. Will you be paying cash or creating a new loan?
When can you come in to sit down with me. Right now, it's with me and Kathy.
The point of that is we believe in buyer interviews. We interview our buyer clients. We don't necessarily just meet them in the field and start showing properties. And I think that's how you lose buyers too, because there's no commitment there. There's no friendship. They haven't shared their life experiences with you. You've just shown them a house, and that makes you just like every other realtor out there.
It's a great way to pre-qualify people. The ones that refuse to come into the office but want to go see properties are usually not going to stick with you.
Very true. Okay, Amanda, like name, you're number 1.
Amanda Lee. I'm number 1. And my favorite clothes right now, and it may change as I look older, because right now I don't think they think I'm serious when I say it. But I ask them, before they leave my open house or whatever, if it's okay if I follow up with them tomorrow.
May I follow up with you?
Yeah. Would you mind if I followed up with you tomorrow?
That's beautiful.
And
How many people are doing open houses? And isn't that an easy one to ask? Yeah, may I give you a call tomorrow? And that, yes, if you get a yes, that's a door. That's an open door, isn't it? Come on, neighbor. Come have lunch with us. Have a seat. You're on the Go.
I'm Robin Hayes, I guess number 2. And I like, if you like, I would say, if you like, I can get you into the office and we can create a customized MLS search for you.
Next.
My favorite is
What's your name?
my name is Abraham. And
Your
my
number.
number 3.
Three. This is a little tough stuff.
And my favorite one is can I bug you afterwards?
Are you serious?
Yeah, because people doesn't like to be bugged. So like if you prefer bring it up to them with like some sort of sarcasm, they think like, well,
Sure, yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little humor. Yeah, I like humor. Humor really softens people. Yeah, but, and if you said that to me, I would probably say sure. Because I'd like your boldness for one. Yeah. The whole point is, don't be afraid to ask for the order. We're asking for the order in many different ways.
Ricky, number 1.
I had a different house.
This last Sunday for the first time, and it went really well. I'm very new, so.
Okay, well, you're in an open house right now, and I just walked in the door. What are you gonna do with me? Let's have a dialogue.
Hey, come in, please.
Thank you.
And what are you doing with your day? And can I help you with something? What are you looking for?
You're gonna ask all those questions at all the same time. Ask me the first question.
What are you looking for? Why are you coming?
Good question. Oh, well, I stopped by today because I saw your signs up. So is this house for sale?
What are you looking for?
There you go, that's good. Or are you in the market for a home? Because I might be the next door neighbor.
Right.
And I could be a potential seller. So with that, what are you looking for? That's a good question. Would that be your favorite question?
No.
Maybe
I think it is, it's certainly you need the information to be able to give.
get information, ask questions. Yes, so far so good. So I think given where we are in this conversation, if you were to say, are you in the market for a home? Or maybe even better, are you in the market for a home today? That would be a great close. That would be a very non-threatening close as well. Okay, next.
My name is Becky McBain, and I like to kind of do life. I like what you just had to say with my clients. So a lot of times I ask them, how do they hear about me?
How do you think? All right, well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And, if they call me up or whatever, or I'm at an open house, or how did you find out about this open house? Was it the signs? Was it the paper? Or And then so ask other questions, but then when it to close buyers, I either say, kind of like, when I say I'm gonna bug you, but I'll say, you know what, when we start a relationship, that's what it is. I'm gonna go back and forth with you.
So what is your best buyer close?
Buyer close is, how best do you like to be communicated?
That is perfect. Perfect. I love that one. I hadn't thought about that yet. And your number what?
3.
No, two.
Your number 2. Next.
Carla Steffen, number 3. I'm thinking on this, it's kind of a twofold thing. I really like to let buyers talk, because the more they talk, the more they connect with you, and they think of you then creating this relationship. And I kind of always like to try to end on, I'm here to work for you, I'm representing you. It makes them feel that, once again, the connection, and that really helps solidify them staying with you and listening.
So how are you going to segue that into a close?
Well, it's usually,
You're gonna be asking
and
for
so I've
it.
already asked, about what their needs are, their wants, how they want to communicate. I like to do that because some texts, some are emails, some are that direct phone call. Because you have now, depending on the generational age, they have their preferences. So
Here's an idea.
through all that.
Here's an idea. Here's the close that comes to mind. Would you be interested in allowing me to represent you to buy a home? That's a close. That could be at the end of that long conversation, but that's asking for the order, rather than just being an information gatherer. At the end of all of that, we ask
Be
them,
interested.
would you be interested in allowing me to represent you to purchase a home? Now, what's the danger there, people? They might say no.
Yeah, they might still.
Isn't your mouth, that doesn't hurt, it might hurt a little bit, but it doesn't hurt a lot. But after they've shared all that information with you, what's the chances they're gonna say no? I mean, we are gonna find out if you're working with another realtor before you go into friend mode. But once you're into, I'm your friend mode, ask them to work with you. Painless. Painless. And it starts to cement people to you. Next.
I haven't put a lot of this into practice just yet, so.
I've heard that for about 4 years.
I know. It's been a lot of off and on.
Give us name.
I'm Ellie Steph Wilson now.
Your number.
I guess. Again, with the, like she was saying with the information gathering, I think a really good one is, I like to leave myself open for them to communicate with me as well. So saying something like, let me know when you have any questions, but when would you like me to communicate with you next?
Perfect. She asked for the order. When would you like me to call you next? Not unlike, may I stay in touch? May I bug you? It's perfect.
So I like when she said, let me know if you have any questions.
But that isn't a close, is it?
No, but I.
But she's leading up to the close.
Yeah.
You probably don't need to do much close. If you have something to add, jump in.
What are you currently working on that I may be able to assist you with?
Perfect. That's a close with us, with the realtors. Yeah. You have a different close, or is hers the best?
Hers is pretty good.
We're gonna give him a kitchen pass today.
Yeah, but I'm Justin with Elias.
Thank you, Justin. And we don't force you all to be on a team. You don't have to wear your name badge. Okay, Robert, did you figure out what we're doing today?
Kinda.
Okay. Your name and your number.
Robert Smith just put me on. I
No,
don't know
no,
my
what's your number?
2. 2.
He's on team 2. You can't pick your team. No more picking teams. Okay, favorite close.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Is this a date or what?
Sure is.
It is. Yes.
And the plans to pick up the check.
Let everybody know.
How about what are you doing tonight?
That's even better. That's
I
even
mean, usually the first question I ever ask is, do you have a realtor, of course.
Actually, Robert, don't make that your first question. I'm sorry, don't make that your first question, because it's too easy for them to say yes, even if they don't.
And it's very cultural right away, you know, because then they'll feel like, oh, well, he's not gonna care for me because, you know, I already told him that.
Yeah.
I don't want any
That's
business.
exactly
Here's
right.
here's when I ask that important question. When I think they want me to do any work for them, if they say, tell me more, tell me more about the other houses on the street, can you send me information? If they're gonna ask me to spend time over and above my time at the open house, I say, by the way, are you already working with a realtor? I mean, even if I get a sign call on one of our listings, could you run and show me your listing today? I am more than happy to do that. By the way, are you already working with another realtor? If they're working with another realtor, of course, go ahead and show the property, but, because you owe that to your seller. But what I try to do, because our time is valuable, so is yours, wouldn't you rather have your own realtor show you that property? Well, he's out of town for a month. In fact, we got that signed call yesterday. We've already captured that. That's where Carl is. He's working with that particular buyer, because that's called abandonment. The realtor left him and he never signed a buyer rep agreement with that realtor. That buyer belongs to us now. But Robert, don't ask that question first off, okay? Make it part of your conversation if they want you to actually do any work for them. Okay, our teams are set up. Okay, thank you for that, people. So now let's jump to, how do you close buyers?
But like on that note too, going back to this, I'm sorry. It's like, I went to open a house the other day and, you know, tried to be friendly with this person. And like, I'm really happy to, you know, take you anywhere. And then, you know, I'm motivated. I want to take you guys to these places. And then I asked, are you guys working with somebody?
That's it.
And then they were like, yeah, but we're not really happy with them. And I go like, well, I'm here. You know, and then it's like, okay, well, if you show them that you want to work for them, you never know.
I had that happen to me just last week.
Me too.
And, you know, here I am, and I'm showing properties, and and then they're telling me, I kind of have a vibe that they weren't working with me to begin with. It's just having a conversation. And come to find out that this person did have a realtor, and they weren't really happy with their realtor.
Oh my
So
God.
I was told.
You're
So
killing
then-
me. Becky, you're killing me.
But they liked.
Becky, you're killing me.
Why is that?
Excuse me for interrupting you, because what are we? What's our profession? We are
Realtor.
realtors.
Realtors.
Don't say realtor, please.
Oh, sorry. I
Don't
forgot about that.
do that.
Forgive me.
You're for.
So anyhow, realtors. So at any rate, so I listened to this person, just listen to what they had to say. Why do you not like this person? And they told me a few things. And I said, well, and they said, I really liked your listing, but now you sold it, or it's pending. And I'm like, well, you should have told me. But they waited. And then, so they said, well, maybe you could show me some properties. So I thought, I'll do this. I'm going to play it by ear. So a few days go by, and she's not really responding. So I text her back, and I say, you know, if you're working with somebody, I need to know, because I will give you all my attention, but I have to work exclusively to represent my clients. And so this person just wanted me to help, because, and I said I feel cheated on, in a sense. I didn't come right out and say that, but she was playing the field.
Okay, so your point is, guard your time
So I
and
let
make
that
sure you're
person
working
go,
with
and I
real
no
clients.
longer will do business unless she's ready to sign my buyer's agreement.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So that's where I left it.
That's a good point, thank you. Okay, ABCs of real estate, always be closing. I always say in this business, when we put our real estate hat on and our name badge on and we make that first phone call, we are now in business for the day. And everything we say is a negotiation. Everything we say is a negotiation with the other realtor, with your sellers, with your buyers, and that doesn't make it a bad thing. Just be cognizant, and I've been after people on my team to be more aware of this. Whatever your hat was with your friends, it's a little different when you're in the real estate business now. And everything you say is conditioned to get the response that you eventually need to have from them. Yes, I want to buy this house. But again, but only by making sure it's a decision that they truly want to make, and that's how you build up to these questions. So everything you say is a negotiation, so make sure you're saying it, so at the end of the day, you won. Does that make any sense? Okay, so starting out with, the best way to be in charge of a situation is to ask questions. We all agree on that, I think, right? So you get a floor call. Let's go around the room. What are some good questions to ask when you get the floor call or a sign call? Carla, what's a good first question? Get a floor call. What are you going to do next?
Usually ask the first what property they're looking at. What brought them to that property.
Exactly. What made you call about this property? What did you like about the home that you drove by and pulled a flyer from? What did you like about that property? And don't hesitate. And by the way, thank you so much for calling. My name is Carla. And if you don't mind, I'm going to take notes. If they know you're writing down what they say, they know you care. And they're going to be more specific. And you're probably the only realtor that did that. So here, I want to take a few notes. What would be another good question to ask next? So Carla got the call. She now knows that they called because they saw the sign and they like that neighborhood. So what's the next good question to ask anybody? How about?
Will you be,
Go ahead.
do you currently own a home that you need to sell?
Sure. Yeah, you currently own, again, these are subtleties, but I like that you want to sell. If you say need to sell, it's an insinuation that they don't have the money without selling, that you would like to sell. Do you not have another home that you'd like to sell, or were you planning to lease it? Great question, so you know that maybe you're now dealing with a seller and a buyer. Another good call. By the way, I'm so sorry, I forgot to ask your name. Rather than give me your name, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to ask your name. Now, that happens to me halfway through the conversation because they don't particularly want to give their name out right away, but I've already asked enough questions that they probably like me and they know I want to help them. Okay, so by the way, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask your name. Oh, okay, very good. And who besides you will be wanting to look at this property? When they want to look at a property, I don't just want to zoom out and show the property to them. I will have a half a page of notes before I let them off the phone. What's another really good question?
That's a good one because it leads into if they have family or.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Will you be paying cash or?
Yeah, when you find the right home, did you plan to pay cash or create a new loan? Yes, 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 yes.
Have you been pre-qualified?
And yes, if you're creating a new loan, have you talked to Kelly? Who's Kelly? So say that again, please.
Have you been pre-qualified?
Since we know you're going to be getting a new loan, people, please remember to repeat back to them what they tell you. I heard you say you're going to be creating a new loan,
And
therefore.
to tell the truth, I don't ask, have you been pre-qualified, because
Yeah.
it feels like a stigma. So I say,
Yeah.
do you have a loan originator you're working with?
And they'll say, what's that?
Yeah, that's true.
I get that.
Okay, so what's,
Say lender, is there a lender in the, lender that on bank?
who is your preferred lender? Yeah, okay, what's some other good questions? Okay, here's some other ones. Are you presently working with another lender? Yeah, get that out now at some point, not the first question. Okay. Next question. Yes, we are working with a realtor. That's great. Who is your realtor? Well, I don't know. I haven't even met with him yet. Well, okay.
His name is Bob something?
It's Reggie. That's what I heard today. It's Reggie.
Oh, yeah, Reggie.
You know him well.
The guy.
But a lot of times, Kathy, when people tell you that, sometimes they really don't know. But other times, it's kind of like when you're single and you don't want this guy to be loving you. Like, yeah, I'm married. I'm just not wearing my ring.
Well, that's my point.
That's what they do.
They'll say something. That's why I want to ask them who they're working with.
Right.
And, and the truth is, if they're working with a Jack White realtor, hands off. We don't mess with each other. If they're working with another company and, you know, you can say, hey, here's one of my questions, open house or sign call. Oh, you're working with Reggie? Has Reggie shown you a lot of houses already? No, I haven't met him. fact, I'm not even sure that's his name. Well then, let me tell you how I like to work with buyers so we can be successful. First of all, I think buying a home is a very important decision. And you've got to make sure you're working with the right realtor that you feel comfortable with, will protect your protect your wants and needs. Would you be interested in meeting with me so we can get to know each other better before we actually start looking at homes? You're going to get no's, but you might get some yeses. Okay, so far so good. If they say, well, you don't need to go there much further, but you get the point of it. Don't assume because they say they're working with Reggie that they are not fair games. Anything there on the forced call or the sign call? Any other questions that you? So here's another good one. Works at open houses. So Reggie has shown you 12 houses, and you haven't found one you like yet? How is that possible? These are questions. Well, I don't know. We've made a whole bunch of offers. His name is Billy, and every offer we write.
Susie steps out of the room.
Billy, I'm talking about you. Don't ever leave the room. Don't ever leave the room.
You can come here. What about time frame?
That's a great one, Kelly. How soon do you want to move into your new home? How soon do you want to move into your new home? So far, so good. Okay, so any other thoughts on this part of ask questions before call or sign call? Okay. One of the things I deal with my team, other than Amanda, she's the Barracuda, is one of the reasons I like her on my team is because they're all really nice people and they want to help other people. And I got after Carl the other day. He did an open house. He's not here too, so I can talk about him. And he said, I just had some people in, and I think they want to buy this house. But when I was sitting in one of our listening, Carl, that's great news. So what's their name? I don't know.
Oh, that's not cool.
But they're working with another realtor anyway. I asked them if they were working. Okay, that's cool. Who's the realtor? Not sure. So, but Carl is the nicest person on the planet, but nice guys in this business finish last. So you don't have to, nice doesn't work in this business. This is not instant gratification. Just because you're a nice guy doesn't mean they're gonna want you to be their realtor. Don't you think people making a buying decision, a $350,000 buying decision, are gonna want a Barracuda to represent them, like an Amanda? To represent them, they're not gonna want the nice guys that, well, when you feel like it's time to buy, just give me a call. I'll be in the business 17 years from now. No, they want to work with a person who's gonna get the job done. Get the ball over the goal line.
But you have to have a finesse about you, which Amanda does. She's not only a Barracuda, she's also tailors it
I'm a pretty bird.
with niceness.
Yes.
So-
Joey, you're saying you talk about me?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a Barracuda with a smile.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But it actually, it hurts her too. She's awfully young, so she's very good on the phone because they don't see how young she looks. But once they meet her, they know she's serious. By the way, the problem buyer, we got to give Amanda a round. We closed this lady, thanks to Amanda. I say we, Amanda did most of the, well, I did most of it. I lost sleep over it and got gray over it. But
We both
Amanda
put a lot of work into it.
We had to go to Dave with this one.
So tell us.
Well, the bottom line, well, how can I say this?
Talking your Uncle Ledge every single day.
That's the way
In
to put
fact,
it.
she
Yeah.
called me today to ask
Oh,
about
no,
foundation
what?
problems.
What does she want
Foundation
now?
problems.
Oh, there's foundation
No,
problems.
she called to ask if there was, as though I was a structural engineer, still not.
I thought we were rid of this lady.
I did too.
Oh my God. They'll never be
She's
part of the family
relying
now.
on after information.
I know. And she called me about utilities the day before that. I said, what? Go call your utility companies.
Hey, risk management game last Thursday was all about
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was.
Yeah, I wouldn't even let Amanda take the key over to her. We don't do that anyway, but we're definitely not doing it with this lady. Do you have your buyers sign for the keys they pick up? When they come to the office to pick up their keys, you have to sign that they received them. When you give the seller his keys back because the listing expired or canceled, do you make him sign for his own keys? Yes, you do. Risk management, don't. You never gave me my keys back and I was robbed last week. Sorry, you signed for those keys. Okay, the interview. In the interview, same story. Billy got these people in the door to sit down and have an interview with us. And again, it's all about the questions you ask, not unlike the questions that we ask on the phone. You take lots of notes. And at the end of that 2-hour session, you should be able to get a buyer rep agreement signed and all of those things. Yes, sir?
You always get that agreement signed?
Yes, I do, including with my own children.
Especially.
My daughter. Sure. Yeah, we always do, Robert. But it can happen in the field. You just cannot, I don't think any of us are that good, me included, to say, hi, I'm showing you my house here and I don't know you, but would you sign this representation? The best thing to do is at least get the AREC signed, but it's at the interview when you prove your value to them after 2 hours, then it's easy to get it signed. Very seldom do they refuse to sign it. Okay, now that you've asked all these questions, what do you do with these questions? I said something earlier. Who is I said something earlier? What you do with the questions now that you've asked them?
I never had an interview.
Here's the answer. You feed them back to them. You feed those questions, those answers they gave you back to them. And you can do it in the field. Okay, now you told me when we met the other day that you absolutely had to have a 3-bedroom home with an office. We've just found a 3-bedroom home with an office. Do you want to put an offer on this home today? You feed those answers back to them. Not only do they know you listened, but it helps them make a proper buying decision. You reminded them what they were looking for. That's the basis of what you do with those questions. You use them later to close on them. Use them later to close on them. The phone call comes in, this is what we're looking for. If I'm able to help you find that property today, how soon did you want to put an offer on it? We get emails, for example. We get leads from Trulia and Zillow. And many times my first email back is, we're happy to show you this property and be sure and tell Billy if you want to put an offer on that property. We haven't even met them, but we're already talking about an offer. We're already closing. We're not trying to be their best friend. We're trying to help them make a buying decision. So many times that's one of the first things we say in the best possible way. It's not like you have to buy now. It's conversational. If you like this home, don't hesitate to let Billy know that you want to put an offer on the property.
So will you repeat that? We're happy to show you this property.
And if it's we're happy to show you this property, if it's the home that you've been looking for, be sure and let us know. Be sure and let Billy know, or whoever. Be sure and let us know if you want us to put an offer together on that property for you. Don't hesitate to start talking about offers from day one. That's your job. It's your job. Okay, moving on. Closing in the field. So now you're out showing properties around the room. How do you close when you're showing properties? My team knows this. Who else does this? How do you close in the field?
One time I told a person, I don't know.
Hurt them if they didn't.
I don't know how long this house is going to be on the market. So if you like it, we need to make an offer on it, or we need to move on.
Now, was that the truth though, Robert? Did you really think the house would sell fast?
It was a nice house, yes.
Okay, if it's the truth,
Yes.
you can say that.
That was it was on over on Cedar.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shut up. The bane of my existence.
Like that.
Robert put an offer on one of our listings and my Cooley sellers rejected. They didn't come to terms. And today they're kicking themselves. They've dropped the price probably 20 grand. And now they're going to rent it out, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that was painful. Painful. That would have been a triple-sided transaction for us. And it's not always about that, but it would have helped 2 families fulfill their wants and needs. Robert did everything right. He brought us a great offer in the seller.
You sent us a at-list offer.
Yeah, it was a great offer.
But I did tell the guy, I was like, listen, this is a wonderful house. It's in a nice neighborhood. And we actually spent about 10 minutes outside looking around at his neighbors, looking at his neighbor's landscape, looking at, and he was like, hey, you know, at least, you got something nice to look at. You're close to the base.
That's a great one. It's nice to look at your neighbors.
I have a solution to that. That's how I closed on my transaction with the investment property. It was a hot property and I knew it, but this client was brand new, first property ever owned. He was an investor, perfect client. So I said, look, such and such, this property is gonna go quickly, and here's why. I did my due diligence and I did a CMA, and I researched and talked to the listing licensee. I talked to other people, did all kinds of homework, hours. And I let my client know, here's what I did, and I took notes, I showed him my notes, and I CC'd him a brief CMA to disclose. I said, this property is marked undervalued. So we can come in and write a little bit above that because he qualified for way more. And then in the end, when they did the appraisal, it came in even more than we.
Wow, good for you, Becca.
Because I knew that was a great offer. And then I also found out through interviewing the other side,
The other realtor.
right, and they work with their company, everybody dogged this guy. I'm not gonna even mention his name. I like people like that. When other realtors don't like people, I love those kind of people. So I gave him the time of day. I found a connection. So he wanted to work with me.
So the point of,
And basically, in the end, he fed me all kinds of information. I learned that he's a missionary, the owner, and that he wanted to help sell his house quickly. So that's what I told my client. I go, the reason why it's so low is he's not stupid, this other realtor. He just wants it sold quick.
the point of the story, I think, is, as Robert said, be honest about homework. You know, don't use that card if it's not true.
Like,
If it's totally overpriced, don't say it's on a sold amount. Don't do that. Buyers are absolutely not stupid. Never underestimate them. What are some other good closes in the field? My team can jump in now.
Okay. I know this isn't the
Listen up.
I know this isn't the 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath with the Jack and Jill style bedroom for your kids, but do you want to put an offer in on it?
My hero, Amanda, yes, ask people to buy. So what she did is she repeated back to that prospect what they said they wanted, so they know she didn't forget it. And they'll appreciate that, but she's still asking to buy. Did that hurt to ask that question? It doesn't hurt. What do they do when you ask that question?
Yes, or haha, cute. Where's the next house that we're seeing?
Exactly, they like her though. And if they're sellers, if they're potential sellers, are they gonna wanna work with the young lady that asked everybody to buy? Sure, she's giving away for herself. That's a great one, thanks Amanda. Some other closes in the field. Here's the one I like. At the interview process, we say to every buyer client, we're gonna ask you to buy every home you look at. You don't, and with that comes rating the house. If you don't want to buy it, you've got to tell us, give us a rating. You can rate the home on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 means you can't get us this dog. 5 means let's go buy it today. So we're going to ask you at every property we show you how you rate this property. And I want both Mr. and Mrs. Buyer to have different ratings. I don't want them to have a weekly rate the property. And so at the end of the day, Mr. and Mrs. Barr, we're going to sit down and we're going to just look at those 3s, 4s, and 5s that you really like and see if you want to make a move on those next. So when we're in the, we've actually, when we've shown enough properties and we're exhausted, the client will say, you didn't ask me how to rate it. I want to rate it. Then ask. But ask them to rate the properties 1 to 5. It really helps you too, and it helps them. It's a very non-emotional close too. Other field closings, let me think. Rate the property. Many times I'll say, oh, I only give it a 3. Oh, that's okay. I sell a lot of 3s. It works.
Sometimes it might be, this is your first property, it's not going to be your last. So, the fact that you're renting, sorry to say, but you're wasting your money because you plan to live here. That's what you told me for So let's get you into a property and start there, and then down the road, we can sell this for you and look at this something else, and that way you stay with longevity with these clients.
Be careful about suggesting you can sell the home for them unless you're absolutely 100% sure you can. If they're buying a difficult to sell property, be sure and tell them that. I know you love this home and we're going to sell it to you, but I want you to know being right on Lake Otis is a problem.
Okay.
It's a problem for you. It's going to be difficult to sell later. That's why you're making such a great buy. And if you're okay with that location, we're going to sell it to you. And keep that in your notes somewhere. So 5 years from now, when they want to sue you because you didn't tell them a Lake Otis property would be difficult to sell, it's in your notes. You'll win a lawsuit. So you've got to tell people why it might be difficult to sell later.
I don't know if it's necessarily a close, but Mr. Longnecker reminded me of something that I told him when he was just starting to look, was when you're renting, you're essentially just paying someone else to take your pants off in their house.
That's hilarious. That sounds like a guy. That's a guy. That kind of works out. Another way to say it, Sean. Okay, don't be a victim of the parking lot kiss off. Okay, what am I talking about when I say don't be a victim of the parking lot kiss off? Who knows what I'm talking about?
See you later.
We'll be in touch.
Go ahead.
Basically, I see you later.
That would be true. I'll see you later. I really enjoyed spending the day with you and having you show me, 40 houses. Just a great guy. Goodbye. What can you do to prevent the parking lot kiss off?
You just tell them, like, can we, do you have time to go over the property?
Yes,
Maybe we can-
yes. Let's take just a few more minutes, just walk into the atrium of the office. Let's sit down, let's walk through these properties, let's look at all the pre-closing sites. Let's rate them again, let's re-rate them again. And if you're not crazy about any of these, let's get together tomorrow. Don't let anybody out of your sight without making another appointment.
I put codes on there. Sometimes I color code, even though they say, no, we're not interested in this one, I'll put an X in a corner or something like that, and I keep it, I don't throw it away. Because if somebody, maybe there are a couple choices just are pending, somebody else wrote a full price offer or whatever, so they might rethink that one that they thought they didn't like. And people change their mind all the
They
time.
do, they absolutely do.
So,
Okay, so don't be a victim of the parking lot kiss-off. Mainly says have another plan. Even before you walk out the door with them, say it now. At the end of today, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna go back over these properties, tell them what's going to happen next. And I want you to, if you don't plan when you want to put an offer on today, be thinking about the next day we can get together. Always close. All right, so the next close, and this is kind of rating them 1 to 5. Do you want to purchase the home we just saw? Or does this one better serve your needs? Start rating the houses, pit the houses against each other. The next part of the rating system. Any other closes that you guys like to use that would work for you?
I like to use, so after viewing this property today, tell me your 3 top interests. What appeals to you most? And they'll say, I like this bitch's backyard, I love the kitchen, I don't like that I can't park my car. And then I say, on the same token, tell me 3 things that you didn't like, if you can find 3 things. And then I write it down.
And write it down.
And then I document it, and then, like you said, Kathy, I'll say, so, or maybe, if they're married, which just happened to me, like a few guests due to close when I leave here today, showed a property just a couple days ago, and they have gone back to me because I did that. So I know there are 3 things they like and 3 things they don't, but her cousin wasn't there because he had work. So now I can say, based on this, what does your husband think? And go with that. If not, then, okay, what's next? What would you like me to do?
Yeah.
And listen to what they would like to do.
So that falls into the category of basically staying in touch as well.
Yeah.
You can't, again, nice people in this business think, like I said, if you're really nice, they're gonna call you back. They're not gonna call you. They're gonna be snatched up by the next Barracuda they meet at the next open house, who actually before they left the open house, they had an appointment with them. But I think we all know that, right?
And that's our own fault.
Truthfully.
if we lose them,
It's our
kind of
fault.
our own fault.
It's our fault if we
See
lose.
what she got.
Any other comments, people, before we're done?
Just my
Thank you.
favorite way to follow up is, what should I be doing for you?
Yeah, what should I be doing for you next? Yeah. Another one that I've seen Carl start to use now is I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you and wanted to just check in with you and talk with you, you know, just people like you.
I used that one this week.
You did?
Yeah.
Did it work?
I got responses from both sides.
I did that too, and then, you know, because I found out Steve's clients, they have low
I'm gonna say,
mortgage.
hey, some shit.
And it's not they're gonna qualify and they don't. So they got their teenage heard, not by me, but, so I just said, but I learned something else about their family. So I looked at that and said, I'm thinking about you guys, and then I want to know, what's the outcome with your little boy? Were you able to adopt him? Because you're in the process of that. So that was also part of the reason why they didn't qualify, because they're in battle with that. So there was a purpose behind it. So it wasn't like, oh, we just have to lay or place with our expenses. So that told me a little bit about them. And their priorities were just different. So people like that, I should give them time.
Absolutely. Stay in touch with you.
If I don't, I'm gonna be considered mean and fierce and without heart. So they responded back to me after saying, I'm thinking about you, and I asked that point, right? Because they weren't responding to me for almost a month until I did that.
Anything else?
Robert?
Robert,
I noticed I never did an interview, Kathy. I never really sat down with them and did an interview.
the Cedar people,
Anyway,
Right. And,
but you still put them on contract, right?
yeah, but you know, I feel like I'm missing something. You know, I see you guys like doing like lesson appointments and other things. It's like,
Cut yourself some slack. They're a finely honed machine. You're relatively new. This is for you to pick up next time with your next client. Make that buyer interview appointment.
And you have a beautiful, Robert has his own beautiful office now.
Yes. I mean, you're gonna get there. You're not you're not missing the tools. They're all there. You're just learning about them.
right. What I notice is, hey, I'll meet them. Hey, let's go. Just go on.
Yeah,
You know, and I never sit down and interview. I guess it's on the fly, you know.
Okay.
Make
So
a copy of their
before
ID card
you-
and move on.
Before you go work out, do you warm up?
Not really. That's probably why I'm hurting now.
So think of it as a warm up to the race.
Okay.
So before you are in go mode, you gotta warm up, do the buyer interview.
For instance, I've sold two of my colleagues' houses, and they just walk up and say, "Hey, Rob, I like this house." The first lady, she just said, "Hey, I want this house here." It's, well, I'm going to interview her.
How did you meet that? How did you meet that buyer I want to buy right now?
She was one of my colleagues on the basis.
Well, okay, I'm going to say
Right.
that's different. You already have a relationship with them.
Well, okay, that's the last one.
How'd you get Karen?
Okay. She called me. She actually called upstairs and she wanted,
Well, looking for you, Robert?
no.
Or call?
She saw a Jack White sign. Y'all listen, pay attention. She saw a Jack White sign that says for lease. So she called up here because the 6464 number is on there, nobody else's number. She called and the person that was doing floor time said, I don't do leases. I don't do rentals. So the front desk person connected to me. I get there. Well, she said, I want to see this property. I was like, I ain't doing nothing. Right. So I took her out,
For lease property.
you know, South Anchorage. I let her in. And then she just walked in and she was like, Robert, I'm going to take all this carpet out. I'm going to repaint the walls. I'm looking at this lady like, first, let me see if you're allowed to do that. Second, if you're going to do all that, you might as well just buy the place. Let me see if it's for sale. Right? It wasn't for sale, but I was, and her brother and her sister-in-law was with her, and I was like, why don't you just buy a house? And they looked at her and like, okay, buy a house. So about 20 houses later and a whole bunch of headaches, we're on the contract. You know? And that was like $100 referral that turned into $15,000 commission.
Whoa,
Yeah.
great
Gotta
story.
close it.
So-
Yeah, I gotta close it.
So do you think
We
we all
work it
should
out.
work lease?
I do.
You think we
I
should
do.
all work lease?
No, I gotta tell you, I just got off the phone with a guy who said, "Hey Rob, I really need some help. I got about $300 to $400 a month. I don't have a job yet, but I'm looking. My parents are helping me pay, where I'm living now, and I'm a sex offender." I told him now. I wish you the best, but some people you can't help. But and you still give them your business card. They know people they can pass it out to. So you can't help everybody, but I would never turn them down. No.
Robert's done well with leases, yeah.
And I'm having a struggle with. I got another. I know I'm talking about you. I got an aviation company down south that they just called me yesterday and they want to rent a property up here fully furnished for $4,000. How you think that's gonna go?
Interesting.
I'm gonna flip them.
Yeah.
$4,000 a month. I mean,
That's insane.
Why don't you just buy a house?
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
So
Or a duplex.
yeah, I wouldn't turn them down. Nobody. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
Well, no, his point is if you're not incredibly busy with your buyer clients, you might want to be, considering the leases, because he's been able to convert them. And we had another young lady that used to come to Trenches all the time. She's no longer here. But she worked leases constantly, and from leases, she sold a $700,000 property. And I was critical of her doing leases, and I've been harassing him, but I'm backing off now. I'd say if you have the time, think about it.
Well,
They know people.
one other thing, the $241 they charge us a month. I don't pay that anymore.
What's that?
The monthly fee, I don't pay that anymore. The referrals from the leases pay it. And the only thing you have to do is pick up the phone and call the other person. At the very least, I do more than that. I run the credit and all that. Right, show it to them, I run the credit, fill out the application, walk them in and turn it in for them.
We should have an inventory process about that.
I'll let Robert conduct that.
Yeah.
If y'all are interested, we would do that. Fair enough. Okay.
I think, you know what I was gonna say about you, Robert, like Tiani just said, you're kind of new, but just your presence, there's some people that got it, and you just got it, you have a very nice disposition. People just naturally feel comfortable with you. There's some people that are a little bit more intimidating looking, so they have to work a little harder, but you don't as much, because you have a nice presence about you.
But thank you.
And so, thank you for that. It's a big difference.
You make me blush. You can't see it from down there. I know.
That's my job.
Thank you guys for coming today. See you next Tuesday. Thank you. Support people.
So just let me know, Will.
I will. Yeah,
Whole other
that's
sandwich
next
for
conversations,
Amanda.
how we're handling
What? There's
Aston,
that whole other sandwich.
and
for-
then
Oh.
what
Yeah, I wasn't that serious.
we can negotiate, whatever. And then you'll get some
Oh, please.
That's when you deal with the one up.
Oh my God.
Well, you'll have something for me, telling me thumbs up or thumbs down. I won't keep you on the edge of the seat. Right, absolutely.
No, that was still being hurry, but when I took all our new companies, I really get the contract. I gotta make it so much.
Look at the red.
Something else.
Yeah.
Don't shake grass, that's the only.
You asked me about a week ago, what are the chances of getting USAA?
Not necessarily.
If you was Italian, it'll all make sense.
Because you know, you understand it?
No, it's kind of like a mob thing.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you do that, huh?
So,
I told them something.
The drip, the way.
Right, I just came back
Then,
from yoga
he called me back and said they spoke about it.
It's
They
non-transferable.
said, no
Pathfinder
public
Aviation.
Tier loan blew up. So he was talking about ways to do it for them.
The helicopter ride.
I see it as good.
There's two condos downtown.
Fully furnished.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's kind of
Yay for some.
different.
And then they're gonna know real buyers.
So,
The network of helping them is gonna make a huge difference. That's great, Robert.
right.
Good for you.
But
Is that, that's better than homestead?
So Kathy, we sat almost just exactly like this.
Oh,
I could
no,
go
right.
back corner for 40 hours to get
Telling jokes,
taking notes, telling jokes.
Did you learn anything?
Well, we both passed our test on the first try, so I'd say
You're both making
so.
money, so.
it's easy really to
I think,
test.
yeah,
Yeah,
We actually paid attention and took detailed notes though.
we did. You should see our book.
It's still better than.
They're highlighted. We had one girl with, you remember Jodie Conines, the ones with the crazy eyelashes?
I don't know.
She was sitting like, what, a seat down from us or something, and she had just taken the test like a week or two before she retook the classes. And so every time we came across a test question, Jodie's like, test question.
Oh,
question.
wow.
I was a little upset.
Yeah, my test question next to it.
Even if it doesn't affect
I thought she was gonna turn out to be half-life.
I did too.
And,
You know James Sparks left?
James?
He was the taller one with the kind of grayish hair.
I knew he'd left. I went to work for Roy Bradley.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Now, didn't he interview like every real estate company before associating himself with Jack White or something? That was what I heard.
You remind me of a used car.
Of a car salesman. We used car salesman to get you out. It's very much so he reminded me of as well.
I gotta bet everything he says. Surely he did this way.
And Cicey, remember Cicey?
Yeah.
So, I
She's
mean,
fun too. I don't know where she
What
is.
about Jim Murphy?
I told
Did
them,
she?
I told them yes to talk to you. I said, I don't know. if
She
you signed
was.
something.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Why did she do that? She had listings, she had
Jim is very,
lives.
very, he's not charming necessarily, but he's very compelling, and she would be very vulnerable.
Is she
Well,
gonna
she needed
lose?
the money.
Is she gonna lose herself to him though? Is she ever gonna be a big name in this business because
Of course
of
not.
that?
It's hard to say.
Or does she forever live in Jim Murphy's shadows?
They're not gonna get
I wonder how they even found each other. How did they even?
Jim has the way of finding the Cubans. I'll bet once he thinks they're Cubans.
Yeah.
Then you just need to go that route.
And that's why I told them.
You think it's gonna get a better price?
What do you want me to do with the extra sandwich?
Take them to the front desk
Kathy,
area.
how do you like doing deals with USAA?
It's better than a lot of the other lenders. It works.
How did you say that?
Well, it's not my favorite thing to do,
To the amount that you.
but I've done them before. A lot of our